I'll never forget a time when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I knew it all. How many knew it everything at 11? Come on now. I was a thinker and I was smart. SMRT. I didn't need anyone to tell me anything, to help me or tell me what to do. I was outside the church at Helena, Mississippi. This is a little town right outside of Pascagoula, right by Escatapa, which was called Dead Dog River. I know you're very sophisticated up here toward Memphis, so I'm trying to get you down in my environment, all right? But my dad was parked in the pastor's parking spot. Anybody know what that is? They used to have little parking spots. It was the closest one to the door, usually. I guess the one that ate the most fried chicken needed to be closest to the door. But he had a 1976 Buick Limited. It was long and it was big and it got almost 10 miles a gallon. Had a 455 in the front, and as someone said this morning, it registered 120 on the speedometer or the speedometer. But I can remember that day having a black cat firecracker. Anybody knows what a black cat firecracker is? A lot of knockoffs. Now they may call them purple cat or something like that. But the real stuff was black cat back then in the 80s. And all the girls were hanging around, and Brother Ben, I wanted to do something to impress somebody. It looked harmless, this little rolled up piece of paper, but it had some gunpowder on the inside of it, and maybe a small little fuse about 1 inch long. You know the type you really don't want to light. Everybody likes bottle rockets, right? But I stood at the front passenger's door and I leaned in to press the cigarette lighter in. Oh, you don't remember about that. Y'all don't remember ashtrays, right? It's too far back for you, 1976. We used to have these little cigarette lighters, and you would push them in, and you had to push them in, and sometimes if you used it too much, you'd have to keep it in, right? Yeah. But it was supposed to pop back out by itself. That's right. When it was done and when it was ready, and when you pulled it out, there would be a little glow and a little spiral right there at the end. It was hot. You're right, Amy, it was hot. But I can remember leaning in and I touched the fuse and I grabbed that cigarette lighter and I touched the end of the fuse and it just, There were only pennies a piece if you looked at them, okay? Didn't think like much, but it was still glowing a little bit. So I decided to lean back in and just put the cigarette lighter in because Dad don't like anybody messing with his car. He had a clean cigarette tray and he didn't want anything messed up because people might think he smoked. And so I leaned back into that car and put that back in it, and all of a sudden, bam! Woo! I felt electricity go through my body. I looked at my hand to see if it was still there because I couldn't feel anything. It had blown up in my hand, and when it hit my fingers, I danced. I shouted if you wanted to, if you would. I held my hand just hoping my fingers was okay, and it was, whoo, you talking about stinging. Let me tell you, if you don't get anything out of this message, July 4th, do not light a fireworker in your hand. Because let me tell you something, you'll get more than just a feeling. I can see I'm going to have a tough crowd today, but that's okay. Just because something looks exciting doesn't really mean it's always safe. Just because you can hold something doesn't mean that you should. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what looks fun, looks harmless, blows up in your hand.